Newly elected Governor Maura Healey announced her multi-billion-dollar state budget earlier today. The budget expected to set aside money for a project that aims to connect East and Western Mass. And Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joins us live with those details. Maria.
Chris, it's a project that's been years in the making under the support from the governor's predecessor, Charlie Baker. Now, Governor Maura Healey is proposing several $1 million to be set aside for a passenger train to connect the state.
We wanted to present a budget that will set Massachusetts up for success by lowering costs, growing our economy, and delivering on the promise of our people.
The Healey-Driscoll administration unveiled its 2024 fiscal budget Wednesday afternoon. The historic $55 billion proposed budget was filed alongside a $750 million tax package and includes funding for advancements in education, climate change, and transportation. Among the line items, a $12.5 million set aside for the East-West Rail. The proposed funding gaining positive reaction from Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno.
I think that's going to be important. We have to start moving this project forward and trying to catch up with our European sisters and brothers and our Asian sisters and brothers who are far ahead of us when it comes to passenger rail aspects.
Mayor Sarno says the $12.5 million is just the start for a project with major potential.
It opens up a myriad of opportunities, economic development opportunities, job opportunities, housing opportunities, and again, our price points here, and I call it the Golden West, are much, much better than the eastern part of the state on it. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll continue to advocate.
The commuter rail project aims to connect Eastern and Western Mass via high-speed train, making stops along the way in Chester, Pittsfield, Springfield, Palmer, Worcester, and Boston. Back in August, then-Governor Charlie Baker signed an infrastructure bond bill that included $275 million towards the development of the rail. One local man also sharing with Western Mass News he's eager to see the project gaining traction.
I actually think it's a wonderful idea for people to actually travel across the state. It actually is beneficial for the Commonwealth to be connected completely so we could look for other jobs if possible, places to find, a place to call home.
Currently, there is no timeline set for when riders could expect to see the rail in action. As for Governor Healey's final budget, that will be voted on this summer. Reporting live in studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.